Tonight's episode is brought to you by Chuck E. Cheese. Hey, where do you think we're going for Baron's birthday party later? Tonight on Ramblers Unleashed. Happy birthday to our brother Baron. Why hasn't Grandpa taken his meds yet tonight? What did Dizzy find for us to talk about? Why is Max unbelievably tired tonight? Find out next on Ramblers Unleashed.
Hey y'all, Baron here. I just want to give you guys a fair warning. There's going to be a lot of foul language on this show tonight. Please bear with us. And if you have the children nearby, time to give them some snacks because it's on. Viewer discretion is advised.
The wrestling podcast that sets all other podcasts apart. Covering news from the world of WWE, AEW, TNA, and more. Your favorite weekly episodic podcast, Ramblers Unleashed, starts now.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday edition of Ramblers Unleashed. Welcome to it. It is, it's kind of weird being on a Wednesday night, but here we are right after AEW went off the air. You got us, and boy, we got a lot to talk about tonight. And of course, we're down a Rambler because, as you heard Max mention, it's the Baron's birthday today. So what I want you to do is I want you to go to his social media page. I want you to go to X, type in Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's, wish him a happy birthday. All right? And guys, I scrounged up enough money for us to get a band together so that we can sing happy birthday to the Baron like we should. Usually I do it a cappella. This time we're going to go all out. I got a band. I got a band.
I'm a little worried, Diz. What kind of
You'll appreciate the fact that I got this band. Okay, you really will. Max, you look confused. What's wrong?
I've seen the Ramblers Unleashed budget. I'm not sure where you scrounged up enough to hire a band.
It was personal money. All right. It was personal money. I scraped up enough money. It was paid. So I scraped up enough money for us to get a band for the Baron. All right. So,
all right.
It's not coming out of your salaries. Don't worry about that. All right. Are we ready to sing the? You guys want to sing Baron a happy birthday?
Absolutely.
All right, band. If you would, band is off camera, so you will not see them, but you will definitely hear them. They're in another studio elsewhere. Band, are you ready? They are ready. All right, here we go, gentlemen. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday to you. Birthday to the Baron. Golfers clap for that. Happy birthday, Baron. We love you. We miss you. We hope you're having fun. Gentlemen, you did great.
I was mildly off key.
It's all right. So was I.
I was lip syncing.
Max, I couldn't even tell you were lip syncing.
I'm pretty good at what I do.
I think the band should have lip synced.
I think the band should have definitely lip synced. Let's get into our gentleman, our friends here, our neighborhood heel. Let's go ahead and introduce him. He hasn't been on the show in a long time, but he is a man with more wrestling knowledge in his pinky finger than Tony Khan could ever muster up with his toy figures, and the only guy that I know that pops bigger for Joel Gertner than any of us. You can address him as Mr. Magius, but we call him the mighty Maximus Magius. Golfers clap. How are you, sir?
Well, as I mentioned in the start of the show, Max is unbelievably tired. Now, let me tell you why.
Okay.
Max was at Red Rocks last night, did not get home till after midnight, still got up and went to work this morning at normal time. I had a blast. I got to see Puddle's Pity Party and Weird Al Yankovic in concert. It's my second Weird Al concert. Always puts on an amazing show. I'm so glad I got to go.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. You sent us pictures. I'm going to actually try to pull up those pictures here and for everybody to see. But you sent us a pretty cool picture of you at the Red Rocks. Is that your first time there or what?
Well, it's my first time seeing a show there.
Yeah.
But I have been there before. We just went because you can go up there and hike around, and obviously that was some way to go that I did that. But I have been up there before for the hike option.
Okay. How was the show? How did he sound?
I mean, he still sounds like he did when I started listening to him 40 years ago.
Oh.
I don't know how he does it at his age. I mean, he's got more energy than Grandpa, and he's older than Grandpa.
How old is Weird Al Yankovic now?
Oh, that's a really good question because I hadn't looked it up. I just know he's getting up there.
Yeah, I knew that he was kind of getting up there, but I wasn't quite sure how up there he was. I'm about to pull up this picture because this is a really, really neat picture of the Red Rocks. So let me pull
Al
this
was born in 1959. He is 66 years old.
Wow,
Holy cow.
He's still going strong. That's awesome, man. All right, well, I messed up something here. Here we go. We share this again.
Take two.
Take number dose. Here we go.
I saw something about guacamole or something.
Yeah, I know. So when you sent this picture, who was on the stage? Was that Pity? That's a hard word to say, man.
Puddles Pity Party.
Yeah.
Actually, this was before even Puddles had gone on.
Okay.
That's his stand right there on stage, but he hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
This was like pre-show, and I took this picture for a reason. I wanted to show the guys and all of you how beautiful this stage is, but I also wanted you to see the backdrop. If you look right, if Dizzy goes a little bit to the left, right there, that's the Denver skyline behind Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's beautiful. That is gorgeous, man. Max, I think I see your house from here.
Yeah, I did too, but nobody believed me last night.
I think it's like right over there somewhere.
So for some friends of mine on Discord, I took 3 other pictures that weren't technically concert related last night.
Right.
I wanted to show them some of the rocks that were surrounding me. So I just sent those over to Unleashed if you want to show those.
Yeah.
But these are the distinctive rocks that give the amphitheater its name.
All right, let me pull this up.
Oh, wow.
This is pretty neat, man. Go here. Boom. So let's pull this up real quick. So these were your seats, right?
Yeah, when you go to the next one over, you'll kind of see how we're directly in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, yeah, we're a little ways from the stage, but it's still an amazing view. The sound quality is great. But those rocks that you just showed there, and then the ones you'll see in the next picture over, are the red rocks. And I wish I'd gotten one of the later shots, because if you go back one more for me real quick, Let me see if it's there. Okay, you can barely see it, but right there to the left of the stage, right above this little girl's head, there's what looks like a turret or something, like a parapet for a castle.
Mm-hmm.
On the top of that, they have spotlights that actually point to the rocks. That one points to the ones that are over here to my left. There's another one on the right side of the stage that points to those rocks over to the right of where I was sitting. Mm-hmm. And at night, when there's a concert going on, those rocks are just lit up beautifully.
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I did not take that picture last night. Let me see if I can get you one of those rocks. Because, I mean, it is just, it is. If you ever get out here, I recommend going to Red Rocks and checking out a show. Or just do the hike and check it out.
That's awesome.
It is. Like I've seen that concert venue and other band videos. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, Max. It sounds like what would you rate the concert from like 1 to 10?
Well, I think Al and Puddles did a far better job than any of the PLEs and pay-per-views we've watched over the last years. So I'm going to rate it a 12.
Wow, a 12. That's awesome.
Now, who did you say opened up for Al? Puddles?
Puddles Pity Party. You want to see him? Here.
Pity Party. Let's get one more picture here because this is cool.
That's a picture of the Rock's lit up. This next one is Puddles from Puddles Pity Party.
This is the Rock's lit up. That's cool. Was that from last night or no?
No, that's from a different concert. I can tell by looking at the screen. I
Okay.
just Googled that to show you guys that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool though.
Okay.
That's a hell of a shot, man.
Yeah, that's a heck of a shot. I love that. And this is Puddles Pity Party that I can finally now say. If you're not familiar with Puddles, he's just a sad clown.
Dude, that's the shit that nightmares are made of. What does he do?
Well, he's got some great songs that he does that are either loosely or direct covers of songs. But some of my favorite stuff that he did last night was he was singing songs like "Come On Up to the House" and "Field of Dreams." Shot of the house from Field of Dreams was on the screen behind him.
Awesome.
He had multiple songs last night that had some kind of Kevin Costner thing on the screen behind him. So if anybody out there has a contact information on Kevin Costner, could you please do a wellness check and let us know that he's okay?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Max. I'm glad you had a good time, brother. And we'll get to your Desk of Max Mages coming up here in just a few. Last but not least, though, our returning Rambler. Thank you so much to Mrs. Jaybone for allowing him to come to our little show and spreading a little bit of wrestling knowledge and talking about pro wrestling with us, the Ramblers. And Jaybone, we couldn't be here without you, buddy. So let's go ahead and introduce our very, very good friend, Jaybone. Golfers Club. How are you, man?
Grandpa, he's talking about you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Where am I? Shit. Oh, time for my...
You're in the studio.
I'm here.
You're
present.
here.
I am present and accounted for.
Yes, you are. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It was a long day at work, but we are here and we are happy to be here and ready to talk some wrestling.
We also have we have a lot to dive into tonight, but we also have Night of Champions predictions and Slammiversary as well. I totally forgot that we have technically where there are 4 events this weekend, and it's
4.
Yeah, there's Night of Champions, there's Slammiversary, there's the Great American Bash, and then there's AEW. What is it? Is it Forbidden Door, Max?
It's Forbidden Door. Yep.
Yeah. So there are 4 events that are coming up this weekend. We just don't have enough time to cover them all, so we're going to cover Night of Champions, and then we're going to do TNA Slammiversary because I feel like that
sounds good.
Those need a little bit of love from us. So let's go ahead and dive into some news, and then we'll get into our predictions. First and foremost, are we tired of Cody Rhodes and The Rock? Well, apparently Cody Rhodes has he's not closing the book on The Rock just yet, but he's also not promising fans that they're getting the ending that they want. While speaking to Ariel Helwani, Cody was asked if he needs to finish the story with The Rock. Cody didn't give a hard yes, but he made it pretty clear there is still some unresolved issues between he and the final boss. Here's what Cody said, quote, Dwayne Johnson has become a bit of a fixture in my career and in my life, not for his flag in the sand moment that was WrestleMania and the emergence of one of the better characters that we only saw little of, the final boss. That alone says plenty. The Rock's final boss run didn't really last long, but it clearly left a mark on Cody's career, and their WrestleMania connection still hangs over WWE, even with The Rock away from television. So Cody said that he doesn't want to guarantee that the story has to be settled, but he also admits that he feels it feels unfinished. So here's a question of the day. Do you think Cody and The Rock need that final match? I want the chat to sound off, but let's kick it off with Mr. Major.
You know, if you had asked me this a couple years ago when all this originally kicked off, I would have said, yeah, we need the resolution of this. But since it was The Rock that dropped the ball on this story. No, I don't need the resolution now. The Rock made it to where I am no longer interested in seeing how this story turns out. I've moved on to different stories.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with this. We don't need it.
Yeah, I feel like it's been too long. It's done and it's over, and there is no more story. How are they going to die? How are they going to develop a story that hasn't been on TV in a long time, Jaybone? Do you agree with that, or do you think that there's some still some unfinished business?
I think the only one that's got a receipt coming, honestly, is Travis Scott, but I know we're never going to see him again. So,
no, we will never see Travis Scott again. Thank you, God. We will never see Travis Scott again.
Also, good riddance to him.
And I just say that because I know that he put a whooping, as they say, on Cody Rhodes the night that John Cena turned heel. So, but no, that's a bit in the past, isn't it? So, no, I mean, I'll agree that the Rock's final boss character was a lot of fun to watch. It was a different chapter for the Rock. I enjoyed it for Cody Rhodes' sake, even though Cody Rhodes obviously took the hard end of that. But no, we don't need to see, unless the only way I want to see it again is if the Rock introduces someone new, and I don't see that coming.
Who do you think he would introduce?
I'm just saying it would have to be him introducing a new character to the story to go after Cody Rhodes, and I don't see. Actually, you know what? What if The Rock pulled Jey Uso out of the whole Samoan line, whatever? What do they call that?
I think it's being called the Bloodline again.
Bloodline. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know. That's what happens when Grandpa doesn't take his meds.
There's Bloodline. There's My Family Tree.
There's all the other up and comers that haven't hit the WWE yet. But no, what if Jey Uso straight away after let's just say for shits and giggles, let's say Jey Uso wins King of the Ring. And then he decides because he's big, because his head is going to go, it's going to completely explode that crown. His ego is going to go through the roof, yeeting all the way to the bank. And he'll be like, you know what? I don't need all this bloodline drama. I'm going to start a whole new chapter. And out comes The Rock. And The Rock says, you could join me. And he and The Rock go off into the sunset to start something new. And that's where The Rock, interrupts Cody on the next episode of Smack Diddly Down, and here comes Jey Uso to cash in that championship, something like that. That's the only thing I'd dig, but beyond that, that's it.
Mir has a good suggestion. Roman Reigns and The Rock. You'd rather see that happen. I honestly think that's been coming for some time. The two heads of the family collide, and who's really in charge? I'd rather see that happen versus The Rock and Cody Rhodes. But let us know in the comments what you think. Do you want to see Cody and The Rock versus Cody versus The Rock 2? Or do you think that they should move on to something else? Speaking of, there's a weird story regarding WWE and Fanatics. So there's an auction going on, and what they're selling is this authentic match-used steel chair from the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series 2022. But there's a major problem with this, guys. There were no chairs used in the match. The auction listing says the chair came from the first Women's War Games match on the main roster, where Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Mia Yim, and Becky Lynch defeated Damage Control, Nikki Cross, and Rhea Ripley. Now, Fanatics has been hyping this chair up in the listing, and it's been on the auction since I believe the 15th. I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's open now, and it was sitting at $75. And all that sounds great, but anyone who watched the match knows that the weapons were tables, trash cans, ladders, and kendo sticks. A steel chair was not part of the action. So that makes the match used tag kind of questionable. Maybe the chair was around the ring. Maybe it was backstage. Maybe it was part of the setup. But calling it match used, Max, kind of a hard sell when nobody saw a chair used at all.
Did we only not see it on camera? Or does nobody that was there remember it being used either? Because I know that WWE didn't really go to as many commercials during their pay-per-views back then, but they did cut away, and maybe we just didn't see it happen on camera. But I'm not taking away from the fact that it sounds like it wasn't used, because I'm trying to snowball here and find out a reason why they would advertise it that way if that's not what it was. But it's just nuts. I mean, why would you say something is a ring used or show used item? I know you're trying to make money off it, but this doesn't seem like the way to do it. Do you know how many people had eyeballs on that show back then? This isn't going to work.
That just doesn't seem very fair to me, Jaybone, especially for the fans that want a piece of WWE history. And maybe the money is going to go to a good cause, but to call it match used when it wasn't really in the match, come on.
Yeah, that sounds really backwards. Like, why would you put something out there if it's not even match used?
Exactly. Yeah, just to sell or just to money. I don't know what the funds were going towards. I don't know any of that. Hopefully, it's going to go to a good charity. At least they'll get a chair, and even though it's not match, it may not be match used, at least they'll get a piece of WWE history.
And what was that supposed to be from?
It was supposed to be from the 2022 Survivor Series War Games in the women's match.
I have a fan from an RNCW show out here, like an actual living person that was sitting in the audience that night that I could actually list as match used. And technically I'd be correct because we came out during intermission and we grabbed some chairs and we set them up in the ring. This was when I was managing the originals, and we decided that we wanted to play poker, but we didn't have a table. So I went over and I grabbed this fan out of the audience. I brought him in the ring. We made him get down on all fours in the middle of the ring. We played poker on him. So technically I could call that match used, and I would be honest, as opposed to a chair that was never actually involved.
You should sell the fan. That's kind of cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen the chair, I don't know. Let us know if you've seen it on the auction shop or whatever. But Sean, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Wednesday. Dive into some AEW news. Directly go to the desk of Max Magius. And Paul Heyman is not pretending that AEW doesn't matter. Actually, he says wrestling is better because AEW exists. So while speaking to Chris Van Vliet, Paul Heyman said AEW changed the game for talent money because Tony Khan gave wrestlers another place to go to and another billionaire-backed company willing to pay. And I quote Paul Heyman. I mean, it shortchanged the compensation packages for a lot of talent because there was a wolf across the river named Tony Khan that had $1 billion checkbook that he could afford to pay a lot more money for talent than talent was making back in 2017, 2018, 2019, end quote. Paul also said that AEW also gives fans something different from WWE. It has a real TV platform, its own style, and serves as an alternative for wrestling fans who want another major product. Then Heyman gave AEW a very ECW-style compliment. He said the company clearly carries ECW's influence, from Jon Moxley's violent edge to fast-paced in-ring style. He made it clear that he loves AEW and that they're around because fans need options and the business needs competition. He even said he wishes there were more promotions out there pushing WWE. So, I mean, honestly, Max, I agree with that. I think that, like, and I've always said this, AEW is good. I'm glad that they're here because they're pushing other competitors to do a little bit better. Maybe not go as far as AEW or WWE will go, or TNA or whatever. But it's good that they're here because competition creates dollars. And I'm glad Paul Heyman said something about this. Max, your thoughts?
First off, I just want to point out that this interview that Heyman did is unusual because he doesn't do a lot of long-form interviews. And I'm hoping that he's going to tell us when we actually see this interview why he chose to do this one when he turned so many down. That's mostly out of curiosity, though. But something we've had hammered home for decades is that competition breeds better shows. I mean, the Monday Night Wars are a damn good example of how competition can make us better. Mm-hmm. While we might not consider AEW competition, it did motivate Triple H and WWE to make better stories. Now, WWE has, understandably, we've seen this. They've dropped the ball on more than one occasion, but storytelling in WWE did improve. And it did that after Triple H took over and after AEW came on the scene. And that's even with Tony having the Peruvian powder problem and running with a different style of booking where there's less story, more match, just straight up matches. But at the end of the day, if the WWE hadn't stepped it up, if they hadn't, no matter what they verbally said, what they publicly told us, if they hadn't treated AEW as competition and used that as motivation, we may be looking at a very different wrestling world right now. One where WWE stopped existing or is no longer the number one company for pro wrestling in the world. And AEW might be that number one if WWE hadn't changed what they did. And honestly, I think AEW should learn from the changes Triple H made at that time, because I think that they could improve their product by doing that and get their numbers back up. Because back then, AEW was strong. It wasn't beating WWE strong. In fact, it was barely competing numbers-wise with NXT from week to week. But it was a good motivator. You have to have something out there that you do look at as competition if you want to improve what you're doing. With the numbers dropping, I don't think WWE is looking at them as competition anymore. And I know TKO definitely isn't, or TKO would be listening to the fans about ticket prices right now.
Yeah.
But competition is necessary to thrive in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Not just this industry, but in this world too. Yeah, it's I think that, yeah, what you said is right on the money, man. During the Monday Night Wars, you saw people flipping back and forth between WWF and WCW. You also saw Eric Bischoff giving spoilers on Monday Night Raw, which was awesome. Fucking awesome. And now in 2026, that was in the 90s, so the 90s was like, I feel the 90s were more, it was more in your face in the 90s. Now in 2026, it isn't as much as boom, here it is. It's more of it's been eased into us, right? It's been especially to like new fans, people ease into this as slowly as possible with this. But now that there's AEW, there's TNA, there's NXT to look at, there's AAA, there's a bunch of different products out there that we can now watch. It broadens our horizon. It gives us extra stuff to talk about. It gives us to be different. One person likes AEW, another person likes WWE, another person likes TNA. It gives us something to talk about, and we can all agree that we all love professional wrestling, but maybe not the same products, and that's the beautiful thing about this industry, Jaybone.
Oh yeah, and it gives wrestlers more places to rest what's the phrase?
Grow.
Rest their head. Yeah.
Let's
grow.
Yeah.
Rest their head at.
Yeah. If I mean, with all the cuts at TNA recently, those guys could end up anywhere. They could end up in WWE. They could end up in NXT. They could end up in AEW. So it's just a breath of fresh air. And I think that it's wise that Paul Heyman actually admits that, he's glad that the AEW is around. I'm glad that AEW is around, because if we didn't have competition, it would be a whole this whole podcast would be totally different. We'd be just talking about the three big companies, and that would be all owned by TKO or the WWE.
Yeah.
or teamed up with WWE. So I'm glad.
Like, all right, are we going to talk about WWE, or are we going to talk about? Let's talk about WWE.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got WWE, you got WWE Mexico, and you got WWE Light.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm happy that even though we may not be happy with their decisions, I'm happy that AEW is here. And I'm happy that they're pushing other competitors. And Max, I was going to ask you this too. You've been in the industry before. You had competitors in Colorado. I know you did. So how did trying to figure out what the competitor was doing versus what your promotion was doing, and how the fans interacted with both of those? Did you have any like crossover or bleed over?
Well, here's the thing. When you're doing indie companies like we were doing,
mm-hmm.
you don't really have your wrestlers under any kind of contract, so they can go work for the other guys as well as you. And you guys, and even though you call it competition, even though it is competition,
mm-hmm.
you kind of try to work together so you're not running shows on the same weekend, because the problem is we do use the same guys, the same group of wrestlers from around here,
mm-hmm.
and we don't want to, like, I want to book this guy this week, and this company wants to book them for their show. If we're on the same night, that wrestler has to choose. So we always try to avoid that. It happens once in a while. It's uncontrollable, but our version of competition was using social media to promote amongst the wrestlers, and we just really didn't acknowledge each other much, except for, hey guys, I'm going to be at AEW this week, or sorry, I'm going to be at New Era this weekend. Hey, I'm going to be at CSW this weekend.
Yeah.
We never really treated each other. We did step up our game and try to book better matches, even though we're on different weekends, but we never treated it like it was a competition. We treated it like what makes one of us stronger will make the rest of us in Colorado stronger.
There you go. So you're booking to grow the area, not just your own piece of the pie.
Right. But I'm still wanting to put on a better match than that guy put on. But me doing that is going to inspire them to try to put on a better match than what I just put on. And it's just going to keep going back and forth. And then Colorado's going to be on the map again, because I'll be honest, I feel like we're the ignored state.
I feel
we have a ton of talented guys here. Mm-hmm. I think that WWE should be looking our way to sign new people.
I think there are really, really good wrestlers. There's good promotions in different states. St. Louis has a lot of great smaller promotions. I know one of the promotions we teamed up with, which was Wrestling Invades America, Wrestling Invades Alton, whatever you want to call it, if you were a fan of that. They've gone on to create another company, and they have some really talented guys there. But Colorado is full of them. Florida, I think, has a ton of great promotions there. You also have Harley Race, his school here in Missouri. So there's a lot of different great promotions out there that, AEW and WWE could be looking at to swoop up some talents, even over to NXT too. Sorry, TNA maybe even. Doesn't matter. There's a lot of great there's a lot of great promotions out there. The smaller the indie circuit is huge, and that is why at the end of every one of our shows is we encourage you to go see those indie promotions. It not only supports the wrestler, it not only supports the promotion, but it supports your chamber of commerce, it supports your city, and it brings more light to the industry, and it gives you something to do on a weekend or a weeknight. So just go watch live wrestling, even if it's not WWE. If you can't afford WWE tickets, go watch yourself an indie show, because I guarantee you will not be disappointed.
Yeah, we can't all go to Weird Al. So go to an indie wrestling show, okay?
Yes, exactly. We can also go to TNA shows, but don't expect to see Tommy Dreamer. A lot of people have been let go from TNA, especially I think the biggest name is Tommy Dreamer. And now there are some distasteful things being said about Tommy Dreamer. So his exit already has a lot of people talking, but now an old indie wrestling story involving him getting pulled right back into the conversation. So indie wrestler Kennedy Copeland, she jumped on Twitter after Dreamer's TNA departure and revealed that she once asked to take a cane shot in a match with him. According to her, though, Dreamer said something completely different. So here's what Copeland tweeted, and I quote, "Hold up. We're sharing about our Tommy Dreamer stories because one time I told him I really wanted to take a cane shot in a match, and he told me he doesn't do that with women. So instead, we did a spanking spot because women. Am I right?" End quote. So the story is she wanted to take a shot from a cane. Tommy said no. So he decided to put her over her knee and spank her in the middle of the ring. So Copeland then said she actually found a photo from the spot and admitted that she now looks back at that version of herself with sympathy, saying, quote, "OMG, I can't believe I just found the photo of it too. I look back in those days and wish I could really give young misguided Ken Dog a hug." End quote. I'm going to find this video, but also there's more. Tommy Dreamer is getting dragged by other names too. And the only person that is not jumping on that train is Michael Elgin. Elgin took to Twitter and said his own experience with Dreamer was nothing like the stories now being shared. He made it clear he can't speak for everyone else, but from what he personally saw, Dreamer was helpful to talent and supported him when his own TNA issues came up. Here's what he tweeted, and I quote, "I can't speak on what some people are claiming Dreamer said to them. All I can say is I have never personally seen Dreamer be anything but helpful to talent. He was also very supportive of me when the issues with TNA arose, but he wasn't in a top role then," end quote. Now, that defense comes after TNA's June 17th TNA exit opened the floodgates a little bit. Referee Perch claimed Dreamer once told him backstage at a TNA show that he would make sure he never got a job in wrestling. Carly Bravo also claimed Dreamer praised his talent, but said he did not know how to market him as a cocky black guy, quote unquote. Bravo later made it clear that did not stop him from becoming who he is today. And then, of course, Kennedy Copeland's allegations. So Dreamer's TNA exit has turned into more than just a backstage shakeup. Some people are airing out some old issues, while Elgin is now saying his personal experience with Dreamer was positive. The bottom line, though, Dreamer's name is right in the middle of a very, very messy conversation, and Elgin's comments give him some public support, but the stories coming out show this thing is not cooling down quietly. Jaybone, I know that you host TNI. You had a bit of a more of a backstage presence at TNA regarding this. So what do you have to say about this?
Well, I wouldn't say backstage presence. That makes it sound like I worked alongside of him. But I will say we talked about the product on a weekly basis, and first of all, this whole Me Too thing that's going on about Tommy Dreamer is bullshit. I'm not saying that people didn't have their issues with him. I'm saying that, oh, so you guys didn't have any problems with him until he lost his fucking job? Oh, now it's jump on Tommy and let's beat a man while he's down? That's bullshit. So I think a lot of this stuff is the people jumping on this. I think a lot of this stuff is just so that people can get their 5 seconds of fame and maybe get a pat on the back, or in the girl's case, a pat on the butt, or whatever I don't know what she wants out of that. What are you supposed to get out of that? So what does she want? We supposed to feel bad for her? I don't feel bad for her. She's a grown ass woman. She could have said no, and then it could have been over. But she did it. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was entertaining. She's working with Mr. Hardcore in the freaking business. So what else are we going to do? Right. He's, you're working with an ECW legend. What, when you think of ECW, what comes to mind? It's the hardcore matches. It's the luchadors that came out of nowhere that put luchador wrestling on the scene and then expanded it worldwide to other places like WWF and WCW. Well, yeah, it's the hardcore crazy women that got involved, and we're scantily clad, but that was what was going on back then. That was to get back then. It was all right. Well, it's what's the saying? That's okay. That's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny. Because if I'm in the audience and Tommy Dreamer's doing that to someone, I'm laughing my ass off and I'm clapping. I'm not going to go away from that show and be like, oh, maybe Tommy shouldn't have done that. Boy, I really feel bad for her. Boy, I hope she doesn't have to go through counseling or something because of this incident. Hell no. She knew exactly what the hell she was doing. The whole thing is bullshit. And I know Tommy's strong. Yeah, he may be emotional. He may have been emotional when he was talking about about being let go from TNA. But that's who he is. He's passionate. He loves this business. He loves TNA. And it's a damn shame it didn't work out for him longer. But that's the way the business is, and he's going to find his footing, and someone's going to book him somewhere doing, I don't know, maybe he'll find a writer's job somewhere, but I'm sure he'll be okay, but this whole Me Too movement to jump on and beat down Tommy while he's down is bullshit, and it pisses me off.
Well, it's going to piss you off even more because there's a new story now that I just found on ringsidenews.com. Perry Saturn has apparently flipped hard on Tommy. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Saturn addressed Danny Jordan's claim that Dreamer once wanted to do a sexually invasive spot with her during a tag match. At first, Saturn said he couldn't see Tommy doing that. Then he saw old ECW footage of Dreamer doing something similar with Francine, and that changed the whole game. Saturn said he had to come back and correct himself after seeing the clip. He even apologized to Danny. So here's what he said, and I quote, Danny Jordan, if I'm saying your name right, she accused Tommy of wanting to do a spot where he grabbed her and basically in the PUSSY. And I got to tell you, I just found that impossible to believe. Not that I thought Danny was a liar. I just couldn't see Tommy doing that. We finished our video, and while he was editing it, he happened to see a video online of Tommy doing exactly what he was accused of doing. There's no way I can let that slide. I was so wrong. I better come out and correct that mistake, man. Danny, I'm sorry. By no means do you let anybody do anything like that to you. I'm still stunned by what I saw. Honestly, I found it hard to watch. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to talk to Tommy now. It's so nuts, man. End quote. That's a brutal turnaround from someone who has known Dreamer for years. Max and Saturn made it clear that he wasn't just some old wrestling spot to him. He said nobody should ever be pressured into something sexual or uncomfortable like that in the ring, Max.
All right. First off, I want to point out that when we first were looking at this earlier, that I wasn't going to take a side in any of this. I was going to just point out that I don't know whether he's guilty or not. I don't know whether he did any of this or not. But knowing what I know about old school wrestling, and the way the guys were brought up back when these guys got into this business, there is a very real possibility that something happened. Now, maybe it got misunderstood or something like that. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's a possibility. But there is something that I took issue with during this, and I have to speak on it from my perspective. Jaybone said that why are they coming at him now? Now that he's out of a job, they're just doing this to kick him while he's down. He was the co-head of creative. What happens if you speak out against someone with that kind of power? I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm just saying that if there is the very real possibility that they were scared to lose their job if they spoke out against the thing that he did, I'm playing devil's advocate. You got to take that perspective into consideration, because I'm sorry, if I had an issue and I thought that the co-head of creative could get me fired if I spoke up about it, I might not say something. And I'm Max. I'm an asshole. I'm probably going to say something, but not everybody is going to do that. They may look at the situation and go, if we speak out, we're going to lose our dream. We're going to get blackballed, something like that. And so they keep it to themselves. We don't know what led to the decision not to say something and speak out sooner. And that's still not me taking sides or saying that I believe he did anything. That's me saying that we have to consider that might be a delay, why there was a delay in them saying something. But what I do want to point out is I did find some pictures. One of them is Beulah McGillicuddy. One of them is Francine, and he has them up for a pile driver in the middle of the ring. I know he says he doesn't cane women, but he didn't have a problem getting violent with them back in ECW for the show. I don't understand why the cane's a problem now. I don't understand any of this, to be honest with you. The old school mentality has got to go away. We have got to learn that no matter what, we're in a new time period. We have to respect everybody. All right? Part of that is communication. If you're not comfortable doing a spot, say something. Okay? Now, I'm not judging people who have gone, you know what, I'm afraid that if I say something or speak, I'm going to lose my job. I'm not judging you for that. But please, if you're uncomfortable, please speak up. Say, hey, I'm not comfortable with the spot that you have planned. Can we work something else out? But that also comes from the other side. If it's something like this that could make somebody uncomfortable, please don't do it. Please, you say, hey, listen, let me run this idea by you. If you don't like it, let me know. Don't be like, we're going to do this instead. Don't be all or nothing when you're presenting what you're planning to do. That's not right either. Now, I get it as creative. I write the story and you're supposed to do it, but I also need to try to work with you and make sure that I'm going to tell a story that makes you comfortable. First off, let's talk about not Triple H. Vince McMahon, for example, wanted to do an incest spot with Steph. Thankfully, Steph was capable of stepping up and saying, Dad, we're not doing that. That is dumb. We're not doing that. But imagine if Vince had put his foot down and just said, we're going to do it. Anybody else in the company might have been afraid of losing their job. Steph's the daughter. She doesn't care. So there have been times in history where we know that bookers have tried to do some really bad stuff that luckily someone stepped up. Now, again, I am not saying I think Dreamer's guilty. I'm not saying I think Bully Ray is guilty of what he's accused of. I don't think we're getting to that story tonight. Are we, Dizzy?
No, I did not pull that up. But we can go.
Bully Ray is accused of trying to buy drinks for 22-year-old girls as though he's trying to, I guess, hit on them that way. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm not saying he's not doing that. I'm not saying that he's guilty of anything, but there is this old school mentality. I was told a story years ago by somebody that was there on the road with WWE way back when, that there was a reason that they brought the female wrestlers and female valets and whatnot on the road with them for like house shows and stuff back in the day, like the little stuff that nobody even knew about in between TV tapings. And the reason was they were there to keep the guys from banging what we called ring rats. The problem with letting the wrestlers bang the ring rats is a lot of the ring rats were not exactly of age. And you don't want your guys getting in trouble because of something like that. So you had a different atmosphere back then. The old school mentality was a little different. These women are here specifically to take care of these needs so that you don't get in trouble with touching these over here. So I'm not saying anybody did anything wrong, but there was a mentality back in the day that was the right way to do things and that it was okay to do stuff like that. And a lot of people have moved beyond that, but not everybody has. And we need to. We have to get past that so that we can move into an era where everybody can work together finally. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
No, it's all right. It's by all means. Yeah, everyone should. There should be a level of respect across the board. I'm totally for that. And I understand the whole, fear of the booker and blackballing. And yeah, I get that. I understand that. I just the whole, yeah,
it's about
it's
timing.
frustrating.
But this is all about timing.
Yeah.
She knew that he was let go from TNA. She knew that he had a higher up position with TNA before or after all this stuff with her and him spanking her and all that took place in the ring. So why didn't she say anything sooner? That's my thing, is like, why didn't you speak up about this anytime sooner than him exiting the company? Did you want that spotlight for yourself? That makes me think that she kind of wanted the spotlight to be shined on her because Tommy Dreamer is, and that goes for all the other people that are coming out against Tommy Dreamer. Perry Saturn is the big one. Is this why you are going against Tommy Dreamer right now? And I'm not defending Dreamer. I don't know. I wasn't there. So I'm not defending him. But is this why you are saying what you're saying now? Because Tommy Dreamer is no longer a part of TNA. Why the hell did you stay silent for so long, knowing what you knew about the man? That could have influenced something, or maybe it could have just been brushed under the rug, swept under the rug. Either way, I just think it takes away the spotlight of Tommy Dreamer's no longer with TNA, a company that he really loved. And it points to a whole different side of Tommy Dreamer now that we have to talk about.
Yeah, look, it doesn't change my mind how I think about Tommy.
No.
Tommy's a legend, and no one from that era is going to be squeaky clean. I'm sure there's lots of other stories from behind the scenes stuff that these guys aren't exactly proud of, but they're, they've grown up, they've gone on to different jobs in the industry, or haven't, or have just, retired and are trying to get by, like Perry Saturn. Everyone's across the board doing different things. And it's just, look, no one's going to change unless Tommy Dreamer did something like Benoit level. I'm not going to even bat an eye at it.
And I think, and I want to thank Tommy, and I want to thank everybody who's come out against this man or for this man or whoever. I want to thank you for your contributions in the ring, Tommy specifically. I want to thank you for your contributions for ECW. I want to thank you for taking TNA to new heights as far as creative goes. Thank you very much for your influence and your work in this business. We certainly do appreciate it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm
he's done his best, and we talked about this a little on TNI, but it was more for the perspective of, it sucks that he's being let go, but I also respect the fact that it's the same aspect of, okay, people are like, okay, Vince has been at the top of things too long. It's time to turn it over to someone else, put some fresh eyes on the product. Same thing, only different. Triple H is doing his best now at what he does with his team. And Delirious, is supposedly taking care of the top ranks of creative now. I'm sure that's going to change even more as the days, weeks, and months ahead go further into the summer for TNA, and that's what TNA needs. Every once in a while, every company needs that. You need to put a fresh set of eyes on the product, and okay, this person did the best they can. Maybe things are getting a little stale. Let's change things up. Let's freshen things up. Let's get some new people in there, see what they can do, shake things up, and we'll see.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Are you surprised about these allegations? We definitely want to hear from you. By the way, like, share, subscribe to the channel, share this content with your friends, and if you like what we're doing, then tell us that. And it also tells YouTube that you like what we're doing, then that suggests our video to more people. Guys, we have 4 big pay-per-views this weekend. It's wild. AEW Forbidden Door is on Sunday, and then we have NXT, we have TNA, and we have WWE, I believe, all on Saturday, which is crazy. The big ones that we are going to cover tonight is, of course, Night of Champions at Riyadh and Slammiversary, TNA Slammiversary in Boston, Massachusetts. So let's kick it off with our predictions for Night of Champions. And I'm going to kick it off with Max Magius because I feel like we should. So, Max.
Well, I only partially agree with that. And I'm going to tell you why. I happen to have the Barons picks for Night of Champions. And so I think I will announce those as we go along.
Okay, that's fine. That's perfect. All right, so you can do yours and Barons. All right, here we go. Jey Uso versus Oba Femi for the King of the Ring tournament final. Now, the winner will be crowned King of the Ring and earn a world championship match at SummerSlam. Max.
First off, before I tell you guys our picks, I don't agree with this being the final, personally. Number one, I think Javon Evans should have made the finals.
Totally agree.
Eric Angel made a really good point on Facebook. The purpose of the King of the Ring is not to make the next main event. It's to make the mid card. You want someone we've seen Liv Morgan win. We know that they use them as main event, but the idea behind King of the Ring is really more of a mid card type of thing. Why would you put the most dominant guy in the WWE in your King of the Ring if it's for mid card stuff? And why would you put Jey Uso in it if it's for mid card stuff? I love Javon Evans. I would love to see him do something, but he's never going to be a heavyweight champion. I would have rather had him win this and be in this. All that being said, with the final being what it is, I would rather have Oba going over. However, Baron said something to us in the chat, and I agree with it, and that is that Brock Lesnar is going to get involved in this, and he is going to cost Oba Femi the match, and therefore Baron and I both say Jey is going over.
Okay. Io Sky and Liv Morgan for the Queen of the Ring tournament final. The winner will be crowned Queen of the Ring, and they'll earn a world championship match at SummerSlam. Max.
I have a problem with this match, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay. Boy, deja vu.
If Io wins this match, we're going to see this match again at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So, why? And if Liv wins this match, she's going to go after Rhea. I mean, I'm okay with. I'm not upset about that. But if you do that, it makes me feel like you're going to unite the belts because you already did with that with the tag titles. We no longer have NXT Women's Tag Champions. We don't have SmackDown and Raw Women's Tag Champions. We have Women's Tag Champions. And those belts are supposed to be defended on all 3 brands. How often do we see an NXT team get a shot at the women's tag titles? So really, my problem is that there should not be a title in this tournament final. Liv, I love Liv. Don't get me wrong. This is not bashing Liv. This is on whoever did all this. I know you're trying to advance the breakup of the Judgment Day storyline, but Liv should never have been in this tournament. She was already the champion before the tournament. She should not have been part of it for that reason. And we're going to get the same match if Io wins this. We're going to watch Io win and then go to SummerSlam, or we're going to watch Liv win and we're going to see both titles against each other at SummerSlam. I feel like this is a booking blunder. That's my opinion. All of that being said, Baron has picked Io Sky. I know you're all thinking that's nuts. He picked Io over Liv. He's got his reasons for that. Liv remains the champion no matter what happens here. And then Io becomes the queen of the ring, and then she moves on to face Liv for the title. And you know he's picking Liv to retain at SummerSlam. Whereas I picked Liv to win this because I would rather see Liv versus Rhea Ripley than to see Liv versus Io, Night of Champions, and SummerSlam. That's just me.
Yeah, I can see that. Trick Williams, who is the current United States champion, versus Ricky Saints for the belt. Max.
Those lemon pepper steppers are going to take on Ricky Saints. And listen, if you guys know anything about me, you've heard me talk about how I'm huge on Ricky Saints and I'm okay on Trick Williams. But I got to be honest, I see Trick Williams taking this one and retaining the title. And Baron also sees Trick retain the U.S. Championship.
Okay. In a steel cage match, Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins.
We went separate directions on this one as well. And I can see the logic in thinking that Braun Breaker is going to win this, which is what Baron picked for this. Personally, because of how long this feud has already gone on, I think Seth is getting the win in this match, myself.
Okay. And Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. Max.
First off, after what happened last week on SmackDown, this match is actually Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill versus Jade's wig. That being said, both Baron and I have picked Tiffany Stratton to win this match.
Okay.
Max, that pick was unbelievable.
It's going to get a little hairy, all right?
Yeah. Who knows? I may pick Jade's wig to win. Who knows? Jaybone, let's go with you, buddy. Jey Uso versus.
Well, we have one more match that you didn't have me pick for Baron or I.
Who is it?
It's the main event. It's the Uwu Championship. It's
I don't
Cody
have that
Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Shit, the triple threat for the undisputed championship. My bad. I totally skipped over that. Okay, let's go ahead.
So,
Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Sami Zayn.
If you know what led to this match, you know that Cody versus Gunther faced off for the title on SmackDown with Sami Zayn as the guest referee. Things did not go well. Gunther demanded that he get some compensation for what happened. Nick Aldis ends up making this match the triple threat. If you hadn't added Sami Zayn to the mix, I would have said Gunther is probably taking the belt. But I think what we're going to end up seeing in this is Cody is going to end up retaining, probably through shenanigans, but I think Cody is going to retain and remain your Uwu champion. Baron also picked Cody for this match.
Okay. Now we can go to Jaybone, and we'll kick it off with Jey Uso versus Obafemi, the King of the Ring tournament final. Winner will be crowned King of the Ring, earn a world championship match at SummerSlam. Jaybone, who you got?
I don't want this to happen, but this is what I think is going to happen. I think Jey Uso's going to take this one, which is going to lead Obafemi to take on Brock Lesnar for the last time in his home state. Match number 3, which is going to headline one of the nights for SummerSlam.
Good call. Io Sky versus Liv Morgan for the Queen of the Ring tournament. The final. And that will be crowned Queen of the Ring or in a World Championship match at SummerSlam. Jaybone.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Baron here. I believe you said something to the effect of you're not sure why Liv got this far in it. It's got to be to put over Io Sky in the long run, and then Io Sky can have a rematch against Liv Morgan and take her title. That's my thinking. I think Io Sky is going to win Queen of the Ring.
Okay. Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints for the WWE United States Championship.
First of all, I got to say I love what Ricky Saints is doing. I'm glad he's a part of the main roster, but man, I'm all my votes go to Trick Williams. He is gonna whoop that Trick.
Yeah, I would assume that's why you wore that shirt tonight.
Yeah, I love me some.
On a side note, I actually do not like that statement, that whoop that Trick, because I'm sorry, but that's Trick telling people, come kick my ass.
Right, yeah.
It doesn't mean how he's using it.
It's not proper English, but people are saying whoop that, as in that meaning whatever said enemy is, Trick. They're saying it to Trick, as in Trick, please whoop that. Instead, they're saying whoop that Trick.
That really sounded like a lot of Steiner math there.
Did that make any? That's how I write that in my old fart head of mine.
That's a lot of Steiner math.
That was totally Steiner math.
That's, but in this case, it's Bone Man math.
But we still love you.
Thank you.
In a steel cage match, Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins. J-Bone, who you got?
Oh man, I really want to pick Seth Rollins, but man, we know Seth Rollins is not on the early part of his career anymore, and why he still does things like this to himself, I don't know. Obviously, it's to put over someone like Braun Breaker, but damn, I'm afraid Braun Breaker's going to kill him, but Seth Rollins is still one of my favorites. But yeah, I think Braun Breaker's just going to kill him. Sorry, the Brewers are on in the next room.
I was wondering what was going on.
That wasn't my dad, agreeing with my pick. Yeah, go Jay. Yeah,
right. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn in a triple threat match for the undisputed world, the undisputed WWE Championship. Who do you got?
I'm glad this match got made what it is, because if it was simply a rematch between Cody and Gunther, I'd be like, really? It makes sense that Sami Zayn got picked to be added to this. And you got to look at where it is, and you got to look at Sami Zayn's road leading up to this over the last, I'd say, handful of years, where he just keeps getting edged up to a certain point, and he takes a couple steps down, and he gets brought up another few steps in popularity or to that next thing he's going for, and then he gets brought back down a little. Now he's finally at the point where he's about as high as he's ever going to get, in my opinion. I feel like this is do or die for Sami Zayn. Mm-hmm. And I love Cody Rhodes. I love him as champ, but damn, I'm one of the 3 last card carrying members of the Sami Zayn fan club. I feel like, he's like, he says his ride or die. They've all turned on him. They're all full of shit. They're all dead. I'm one of the last 3, so I want Sami Zayn to win.
Okay. And Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the Women's United States Championship. J-Bone, who you got?
Oh, I gotta go with my girl Tiffany Stratton.
Okay.
It doesn't change your opinion that the wig's in the match, right?
It's just going to make it more even unbelievable.
Right.
I had to say it again. It was so good. I'm sorry.
Unbelievable. Jey Uso versus Oba Femi for the King of the Ring tournament. Winner will be crowned King of the Ring, and they'll move on to a championship match at SummerSlam. As much as I want this to be Oba Femi, and I don't want this to be Jey Uso, I have to agree with Max and Baron and Jaybone. I think you said this too. Yeah, Oba Femi, they're going to set this up for Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar 3 at SummerSlam. He's going to get screwed. Uso is going to win, and he will be crowned King of the Ring and go to a championship match at SummerSlam. So my heart tells me Oba Femi because I love Oba, but my brain says Jey Uso. Be smart about it and pick Jey Uso. Io Sky versus Liv Morgan for Queen of the Ring tournament final. Oh, man. Yeah, Baron is a big point here. If Liv loses or wins or loss, Liv Morgan's still the champion. Io Sky has a lot riding on this. But who do I want to see go head-to-head at SummerSlam? Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley have a lot of history against one another. They were both in the Judgment Day. Rhea was kicked out of the Judgment Day by Liv Morgan, and I really want to see where that would go. So I'm going to say Liv Morgan, and I will also say that if Liv Morgan wins, or whoever wins at SummerSlam, if Liv Morgan wins Queen of the Ring and there is a match between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam, either way, those belts are going to get unified. They're going to unify the women's title. Guaranteed.
Wow, you think so?
I think so, yeah. Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints for the WWE United States Championship. I am so over for Ricky Saints. I love this guy. I loved him in AEW. He was really one of the only reasons I watched AEW was for Ricky Saints. And I'm also a fan of Trick Williams too. Now, these guys have a good history back and forth between them and NXT and carrying it over to the WWE too. So I'm so happy for Trick that he's the champ, but I'm going to go with my boy Ricky Saints to take that belt.
Interesting.
Braun Breaker versus Seth freaking Rollins in a steel cage match. This is going to be one for the books, guys. This is going to be historic. And I'm going to say Braun Breaker is going to win that steel cage match. As far as
I'm gonna laugh if we all eat shit on that one.
I'm gonna freak out if Seth wins. I'll be like, well, there goes my predictions. Cody Rhodes versus Gunther versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship. You two know that I've never been high on Sami Zayn. I can't get behind him. Even as a heel, can't get behind him. I don't know why. I just can't. So right now it's between Cody Rhodes and Gunther. Gunther, I feel, does so much for the company. He is such a good heel. He's a good ambassador for WWE. Cody Rhodes is too. Don't get me wrong there. Sami Zayn is as well. But there's just something about Gunther that I really, really, really like. So in the triple threat match for the undisputed WWE Championship, my pick is Gunther. I want him to win.
Interesting. All right.
And for the Women's United States Championship between Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill's Jade Cargill. I don't like Jade Cargill. We all know that too. So to retain, Tiffany Stratton is my pick. That is our picks for Night of Champions. We have one more to pick. That is for TNA Slammiversary. This is their WrestleMania. This is TNA's WrestleMania. This is a big one, Jaybone. And since we started off with Max earlier, we'll go with you first. They're coming to us from Boston, Massachusetts. So let's go ahead and get into the matches here.
Oh, this is taking place on Sunday, just in case.
Oh, this is Sunday. Okay, good.
So the one Saturday, this one's Sunday. Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome.
This is the one that got changed for time's sake, so that it wouldn't go up against AEW's Forbidden Door, which smart move,
Yeah. Okay.
It's all right.
Very smart move. Yeah. Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slater versus Frankie Kazarian versus Mr. Elegance versus Fabian Aichner, Casey Navarro, and Amazing Red, the TNA X Division Championship. It's the Ultimate X match. Jaybone, who you got?
Oh, man.
That's a bit of a lineup, man.
That's the Ultimate X is always a show stealer.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're bringing back Amazing Red for this, it's kind of a, hey, it's about freaking time, but it's, look, whatever it's been, it was supposed to happen before the pandemic, and then the pandemic put everything on hold. Well, what do you know? 6 years later, it's finally happening. Amazing Red is still killing it in the ring, and I think, well, shoot, man, I got to go with the legend. I think that one of the coolest things about this match is the fact that you've got two guys, year one, TNA X Division 2022, are going to be in this match 20 plus years later. You got Frankie Kazarian and Amazing Red.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. And they're both still in phenomenal, pardon the pun, but phenomenal shape. So
your pick, I'm sorry, your pick was
Amazing Red.
Amazing Red. All right. In a tag match for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship, the Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance, versus Rosemary and Allie.
I gotta go with the Undead Realm. The fact that Allie's back with Rosemary has been a very fun story to behold on television. They brought some very fun cinematics to the forefront of this brand. And it's, look, I know that a lot of people have been complaining about how often the Knockouts tag team titles have been on the line, but it's, the brands, the TNA's changed over this last year. They've gained some knockouts, they've lost some knockouts, so it's it's been harder to put tag teams together, and they're doing what they can do. So, but now they've got a solid team in Rosemary and Allie. Hey, let's make it happen, and then we can start working on building more tag teams around them. We'll see.
Okay. Eric Young versus Ricky Sosa.
Oh, Ricky Sosa is gonna clobber the legend known as Eric Young.
Okay. Mustafa Ali in an open challenge for the TNA International Championship. So, who do you think is going to come out?
That's a tough one. That's a real tough one, because for a while it almost seemed like when they went through this last episode and they started revealing all the people for the X Division match, they left out Amazing Red live on TV. Amazing Red got added live via social media when the episode was done. So I thought he was going to automatically get added to Mustafa Ali's international title match, which I'd have been fine with. But then all of a sudden I was corrected, partway through the podcast. They're like, no, Jaybone, the card's subject to change. I'm like, oh, okay. So, I've heard word that it's going to be someone from the WWE. Now, who I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the whole list of people that are free agents over the course of this last year. And then I'd still be wrong. So I really don't know. That's a tough one. I'll probably figure it out by Sunday, but for now, or within the next 24 hours for my other podcast on
Total Nonstop
on TNI. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, Eddie Edwards with Alicia Edwards and Moose in a singles match.
Oh, Eddie versus Moose. That's gonna be a class. It's basically the guys in the company that have been around the longest, going against each other, and they're honestly they're both very close friends. So these two are just gonna have a blast doing this. But on TV, they're brutal enemies. Because the system turned on Moose and kicked him out of the group and beat him down, and Moose took some time off, and now he's back for the pay-per-view. So I got to go with Moose.
Okay.
Moose.
Now let me correct me if I'm wrong with this pronunciation. Is it Li Ying Li?
It's Lei Ying Li.
Lei Ying Li. Okay,
Yep.
Lei. Thank you.
You were close. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you. Lei Ying Li versus Xia Brookside in a TNA Knockouts World Championship match.
Oh man, this is going to be another one of the top ones of the pay-per-view. Lei Ying Li has been a great Knockouts champion. She's a 2-time champion now. But Xia Brookside has shown her evil side recently, and she's turned into a great heel, and she's Little Miss Sassy Britches. And Mayor says Raj Desi. I don't know who that is. You're gonna have to refresh my memory on that one.
Right.
But I gotta go with Xia Brookside.
Okay. This is going to be a fun one. The System, Brian Myers and Bear Bronson versus the Hardys, Broken Matt and Brother Nero versus the Righteous in a TNA World Tag Team Championship. It's a ladder match, 3-way tag team ladder match for the championship. What do you got, man?
Man, these three teams are going to tear it up. This is going to be so much fun. I got it. And as much as I love the Hardys, Hardys forever. I think it's time for the Righteous to take things over.
Okay, I agree with that. Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Championship. This will be Nemeth's Call Your Shot Championship match.
Ginger Mahal. I'll tell you what, I've kind of he was in MLW and some other indies. I don't know what his contract deal is with any of them, but I've always been kind of surprised that he never made an appearance in TNA, and if he did, well, shoot, I ain't complaining. I always thought he was, we'll just say underrated. People can crap on him all he wants. I don't care. As long as he's still in good shape and he can still wrestle, what the hell, Now, what were you saying, Diz? I'm sorry.
Who do you think is going to win, Mike Santana or Nick Nemeth?
Santana, Nick Nemeth. I hate going by rumors. I really do. But I know all the internet geeks are pointing at, Santana's leaving soon because his contract's up soon, and then he might as well just lose his championship. Then excuse me while I wipe all the Cheetos off of my nasty shirt here. and brush the cheesy toes off my keyboard that I'm so fond of. Chimney Christmas. I got to go with the artist formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, Mr. Nick Nemeth himself.
Okay. And AJ Francis versus Elijah in a singles match.
Man, I love both these guys.
I know it's hard to pick,
but I'm going with Mr. Money, AJ Francis.
Okay. Max Magius, let's get to you, bud. Let's go with Cedric Alexander versus Leon Slater versus Frankie Kazarian versus Mr. Elegance, Fabian Aichner, Casey Navarro, and Amazing Red, an Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. Max, who do you got?
Well, Jaybone witnessed some nostalgia, so I'm also going to go with some nostalgia. I'm not picking the same person he did. My nostalgia is from a slightly different angle. I've got Frankie Kazarian for this one.
Oh, you're going with the king of TNA. That's interesting. All right.
Okay. The Elegance brands, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance versus Rosemary and Allie for the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. Next.
I'm going with Elegance retaining on this one. I love Rosemary and Allie. I think the Elegance is going to retain.
Okay. Eric Young versus Ricky Sosa.
I will never go against Eric Young to win this match.
All right. Mustafa Ali in a singles match for the TNA International Championship. Now, this is an open challenge. So who do you think is going to come out?
Oh, here's the thing. Before I tell you that, I don't remember Jaybone actually answering who he thought was coming out. I mean, he speculated, but he never actually went with anybody.
I really didn't because I don't have a clue. I'm sorry.
And he also didn't say whether he thinks Ali is going to win or the mystery opponent.
Oh.
Yeah, and that changes a lot of I don't know. Ali is a great champ and he's done nothing but, do these open, not necessarily open challenges, but he's been a defending champion. So, even if it is the entire Order 4 getting in on the act,
All right. Now, I came across a couple possibilities who the opponent could be. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. It said former WWE champion. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to eliminate Apollo Crews right away.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the other one that I'm thinking of, and that is Aleister Black.
Oh.
I'm thinking Aleister is the opponent, and I am thinking that Aleister is going to beat Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, except he's not a free agent until July.
But that would normally be valid, except WWE and TNA have a partnership. He could have easily called and said, "Hey, you guys cut me. Can I go ahead and work with TNA?"
Oh,
okay.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting. So who do you think would win? Do you think it'd be the mystery partner or Mustafa Ali, Max?
Oh, that would be a barn burner.
If Aleister Black is the opponent, I'm going with Aleister Black to win.
Okay. All right. Eddie Edwards versus Moose, Max.
I also am going Moose on this match.
Okay. Laying Lee versus Zaya Brookside in a TNA Knockouts World Championship match.
I have not had the chance to see Lee work. I have seen Zaya Brookside work. I'm going with Zaya on this.
Okay. Well, Lee is the current champion, so she would, if Zaya wins.
Put it this way. If you've seen her stuff in NXT prior to her release, it hasn't done her justice. She's been, over the last couple of years, she's been doing really good work in the ring for TNA. Mm-hmm. And she's the thing about TNA, and this is like pretty much across the board, people like AJ Francis Mustafa Ali, Zaya Brookside, Laying Lee, all these, hell, Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, getting another chance in this company and letting their light shine. It's just been so much fun to watch. It's a breath of fresh air. It's a whole new start for their new career, or new chapter in their career, I should say. A lot of fun.
Yeah. Max, the System, Brian Myers and Bear Bronson, who are the champions, versus the Hardys, Broken Matt, Brother Nero, and the Righteous for the TNA World Tag Team Champion in a 3-way tag team ladder match.
So first off, I saw an article. Brother Nero, Jeff says that between now and the end of the year, we're going to see less of him wrestling and more of him singing. So I don't think they're going to win this. The System's great, but I don't see them winning this. I see it being the Righteous, and I want to point out a reason why I think that. I think the Righteous is about to get a big rub, whether it be in TNA or WWE. I think right now the most obvious pick is TNA. However, Bray Wyatt tried to bring them to the WWE. He was very high on them. He thought that they were phenomenal. I think that they're getting the nod, and I think they're taking those tag titles this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth in a singles match for the TNA the World Championship, and this is Nemeth's Call Your Shot Championship match.
I love Dolph Ziggler. I do. I think he's great.
Mm-hmm.
I think Santana's going to retain, though.
Okay. And finally, AJ Francis versus Elijah.
I think that if you know anything about me, you know that I walk with Elias, but I'm still going with Francis on this match.
Right. Cedric Alexander, Leon Slater, Frankie Kazarian, Mr. Elegance, Fabian Aichner, Casey Navarro, and Amazing Red, the Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. It's coming down between two names for me, and I love these two, Frankie Kazarian and Amazing Red. Leon Slater can be thrown in there too. I love him. But I think I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Frankie Kazarian on this one to win the TNA X Division Championship.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah. The Elegance brand, Heather by Elegance and M by Elegance with Rosemary and Allie. For the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship. I'm going to go, you know what? I really like Rosemary, and I like the work that she's doing with Allie. I'm going to go with Rosemary and Allie on that one to win the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team titles. Eric Young versus Ricky Sosa. I got to go with my boy EY. I love Eric Young. I've loved Eric Young for a very long time in TNA. I was introduced to him when I first started watching TNA wrestling, so I got to go with my boy EY.
Okay.
Mustafa Ali versus to be announced in an open challenge for the TNA International Championship match. Now, Max did point out a couple names here that I found on the internet. Apollo Crews, fans are very high on him, making his TNA debut or coming to TNA to challenge Mustafa Ali. Also, a debuting free agent, Aleister Black, or Baron Corbin has also been discussed in the TNA subreddit. But also, there's some other ways that they could go about this too. We know Mir just mentioned Jinder Mahal, but there's also the possibility of them bringing a TNA Hall of Famer. And who would that TNA Hall of Famer possibly be? Well, many are leaning towards Raven to possibly show up and challenge Mustafa Ali. But if I were to say anybody, honestly, I might have to say Amazing Red. Because he just re-signed his contract, or he came back to TNA. He's with TNA. why not Amazing Red? If he doesn't win the TNA X Division Championship match, I'm going Mustafa Ali versus Amazing Red. And I'm going to say Amazing Red gets that international championship. That's my prediction.
All right.
Eddie Edwards versus Moose. I got to go with my boy Moose. Laying Lee versus Zaya Brookside for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. I love both of these ladies. They're really, really good. But, man, I just love Zaya Brookside. So I'm going to go with Zaya Brookside on this. The System. Brian Myers versus Bear Bronson versus the Hardys, Broken Matt and Brother Nero versus the Righteous, Vincent and Dutch. For the TNA World Tag Team Championships in a three-way tag team ladder match. I got to go with you guys, man. I think the Hardys are on their way out of TNA. They're slowly trying to fade out of TNA and just go into history. Thank you for what everything you've done for TNA. I love the Hardys, but I'm going to go with the Righteous on this one. I think it's time. I think it's time we hand it over to the Righteous. Mike Santana versus Nick Nemeth in a Call Your Shot championship match for the TNA World Championship. Man, Mike Santana, what a run he's had in TNA, man. But I also love Nick Nemeth. I love the fact that he went from Dolph Ziggler, a completely different character than Nick Nemeth, and just did a complete 360 onto TNA and helped them build that brand, man. Put that belt on Nick Nemeth. I love him. And AJ Francis versus Elijah. You know, I've always walked with Elijah, so I'm going to go with Elijah on that one. But that is good. That is a stacked card.
Just to confirm, you picked Nick to win, right?
Yes, I did pick Nick. Yeah. That is a stacked card, man.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
I would like to point out that since Jaybone was very hesitant to commit to any sort of statement of who might win or who the opponent might be in the Mustafa Ali match, I just went ahead and put down an opponent or a pick for him. I think you'll be very pleased when you see this here in just a second, Jaybone.
Oh shit!
Well, we gotta know who he picked.
I should have just picked someone like Weird Al.
I just sent it over to the chat.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it.
Oh boy.
Mustafa Ali, Jaybone picked to come out and challenge Mustafa Ali for the international title in an open challenge match. Jaybone has famously picked the fabulous Moolah. You couldn't have picked better, man. You couldn't have picked better. And leave it to Max to pick it for you. So, you know,
I and this is why I love Max. I really appreciate that, Max. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's but boy, you know what? That's I know she was recently it was within the last year or so that she was let go by WWE, and that she's been kind of quiet. I can't keep a straight face.
She's been very quiet, but
she's been very quiet.
Very quiet, yes. Yeah. Of course, we did not get into the NXT Great American Bash, so I'm just going to run down the matches real quick.
Okay.
For NXT. We're not going to predict it. Lola Vice versus Kendall Gray for the NXT Women's Championship. Tony D'Angelo versus Naraku for the NXT Championship. Miles Bourne versus Tavian Heights for the North American Championship. Ren Sinclair versus Ariana Grace for the Speed Championship, the Women's Speed Championship. Dion Lennox versus Saquon Sugars. Azaria versus Tatum Paxley for the North American Championship, and for the Women's North American Championship, rather. And Shiloh Hill versus Tristan Angels in a singles match. For Forbidden Door, your matches. It's a stacked card again. Divine Dominion, Megan Bain and Lena Cross versus Thunder Rosa and Olympia. Cope and Cage versus the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors. The Young Bucks versus El Sky Team, that's Mystico and Mosquera Dorada, I believe that's how it's pronounced, versus Unbound Company. John Moxley, and that's a three-way tag match, by the way. And the Cope and Cage, Cope and Cage and the Dogs match, that is for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And Divine Dominion and Thunder Rosa for an Olympia, that is for the Women's World Tag Team Championship as well. John Moxley versus Bandito for the Continental Championship. Shada Umino versus Pac for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. There is Thekla versus Starlight Kid for the AEW Women's World Championship. Oh, Max, your favorite. Mercedes Moné versus Maya World for the Women's Owen Hart Cup Final. The winner in that match receives an AEW Women's World Championship match at All In.
Maya World.
Right, I figured you'd say Maya World. Let's see. Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr. Will Ospreay versus Swerve Strickland. The men's Owen Hart final, cup final, and they receive a championship shot at All In. And Team Briscoe, that's Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Kinosuke Takeshita, and Darby Allin versus MJF, the Don Callis family. And that is a steel cage match. And if the Briscoes win, he will earn an AEW World Championship match against MJF. So there's a lot of wrestling on this weekend.
Wow.
We couldn't predict all of it, but man, it's a stacked weekend. I don't think I've seen such a stacked weekend for professional wrestling as I have this weekend. That's going to be awesome. What are you guys going to watch? Are you going to watch AEW? Are you going to watch NXT, TNA, WWE? What are you going to watch?
I'm going to probably watch Night of Champions and maybe Great American Bash. It's extra to watch Forbidden Door, so I probably won't be doing that this time around. And I think it's extra for me to watch TNA as well because I just canceled my TNA Plus. So, and even if I still had TNA Plus, I think it was extra. So,
okay, Jaybone, what are you going to watch?
I'm going to watch the Rumble in Riyadh, and then, or wait, what is it?
Night of Champions,
King of the Ring, and
Blood Money.
Bad blood.
No, I said Blood Money.
Oh, blood.
I'm
money.
gonna watch Unforgiven in Riyadh, and then on Sunday I will be. I have to work from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I'm gonna get home just in time for TNA.
Right on. I am going to try is the key word. I'm going to try to catch all of it. I have a busy weekend, but I'm going to try to catch all of it as much as I possibly can. I may miss a few, maybe two, but man, I'm going to try to watch some wrestling this weekend. We hope you do too. Let us know what you're watching in the comments, and please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, man. We're up to 275 subscribers. We love each and every one of you. Thank you very much. And tell your friends about us. Let them know that we do this every Tuesday. We're on a Wednesday because we're changing things up just a little bit, but working around some schedules, but that is okay. You can follow all of us on social media, by the way. Max, how can they get a hold of you?
First, there was something else I sent over to the chat that I wanted to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Tatanka posted this on social media, and it says that they're coming soon. Tatanka and Sons will be part of the WWE, a Native American dynasty. To me, I think he's going to manage them, but I could be wrong. You never know with the old school guys like him. But I look forward to seeing what this is going to bring. I hear good things about his boys.
These guys are jacked too. My God.
Yeah. I saw a clip over the weekend. this past weekend. One of his boys was in a match where they both were or something, and they looked pretty damn good. So,
but the true question is, can they wrestle?
Yeah, I said from that clip I saw he looked pretty damn good. So I was implying that he can actually wrestle.
Yeah.
But thanks for not keeping up, Grandpa. We're going to get you your meds. You'll feel better soon. You can find me at Max Magius over on Twitter. And for right now, just look for that. Just don't look for anything else.
Yeah, and you can also look for Scumbag Jordan with 3 N's. That is where you find the Baron, and wish him a happy birthday, too. Please, make sure you do that. He would love to hear from you. Jaybone, how can I get a hold of you, man?
Grandpa's pill popping, and there ain't no stopping. You can get a hold of me on the old Twitter box at Jaybone 5150. That means I'm insane, and just leave me alone.
Insane in the membrane. That's faux show.
I would just like to point out to our viewers, that's not insanity, that's dementia. That's 2 different things.
You also have a show coming up tomorrow, which is the go home show for Slammiversary. That's TNA. And of course,
yes,
and I will be on the air for you during the show and after the show. Talk a little TNA. And then what time does that start, Jaybone?
That starts, let's see, 7. It's not 7. It used to be 7, damn it. Now it's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock is, that's 8 o'clock my time, Central, is TNA. That's the go home show for Slammiversary. And then the review starts usually about a half an hour after that. So yeah, join me for the live reaction for all things TNA, and then join me and the crew for the review. Yeah.
There you go. And you can follow the show at The Ramblers Pod on X. You can find us on Facebook at Ramblers Unleashed, and right here on YouTube as well, Ramblers Unleashed. And make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. That tells us that you like what we're doing. It also tells YouTube that you like what we're doing and suggests our video to more people. Enjoy all the wrestling this weekend between TNA, NXT, WWE, and AEW. And we'll be back here with some of the fallout, hopefully on Tuesday night. If not, we will definitely let you know of the schedule change on our social media accounts. So happy birthday to the Baron. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Have fun. TNI tomorrow night. Take you to the go home for Slammiversary. We'll take care. See ya. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Ramblers Unleashed. Follow the show on social media, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and click the bell icon for notifications of upcoming episodes.
Grandpa, you can go ahead now.
And that's what's up.